Today we'll be discussing how the Queensland Museum can co-create value by using digital platforms to enhance their digital brand experience. First of all, we need to understand what and who the Queensland Museum is. The Queensland Museum is Queensland's state museum and is located in the cultural precinct within Southbank. It is a museum of natural history, cultural heritage, science and human achievement of the ever-changing history of Queensland. Before we can co-create value, we need to understand who the target market of the Queensland Museum is. The Queensland Museum has three target audiences, the main being young families and secondary target markets of schools and tourists. Let's take a look at the young family target market. Young families live in Brisbane and have children between the ages of 4 and 12. These families will earn between $63,000 and $117,000 per year. Young families are attracted to the museum for the low cost and interactive and educational exhibits on display. One of the secondary target markets is schools. The schools which are attracted to the museum are both primary and secondary. They come from far and wide to travel to the museum to understand and see the exhibits which relate to the concepts which they are learning about at school. Schools find this an educational and inspiring experience as they are able to first-handedly see what they are learning. The final small target market is tourists. Tourists are often in the area and interested in the culture of the place they are in. They'll head to the museum as it is a low-cost activity in which they can learn about the culture and about Queensland. So now that we know about the target audience which the Queensland Museum has, we can now start to look at the digital platforms which can be used to co-create value for the museum. So I suggest we use three different digital platforms. The first being social media, the second digital billboards, and the third email marketing. So let's take a look at social media. The reason we should use social media is because it targets 24 to 35-year-olds. This is really important as it sits within both the young family and tourist market which the museum is trying to attract. With social media, you're able to use a variety of content to attract or communicate with your audience, including images, videos, written texts, or blogs. It is also a great way to capture feedback from exhibitors and about your workshops and exhibitions. It can create value because you're able to talk to your audience and you're able to take complaints and compliments as they happen, and you're able to then tailor the experience at the museum to what the people want. So let's take a look at digital billboards now. The reason we should use digital billboards is because it can be 6 times more effective than traditional marketing. This is because it's animated and you can have different things flying across the billboard, unlike the old billboards, as the one on the right, which is just a single image, which can often detract people from seeing the real meaning. It is also a known fact that 94% of people can recall moving billboards better than those of stills. This can create value for the museum and for the target audience because you can attract people who may or may not have visited before. Because of the movement, children are more susceptible to seeing the billboard and wanting to attend the museum. It also shows what's happening, which means if people have already visited, it can tell what is different. So now we understand what digital billboards and social media can help, how they can help the Queensland Museum co-create value. Let's take a look at email marketing. The reason you should use email marketing is because you're able to reach mobile customers. You can keep customers informed and it is an inexpensive way to provide information. The value of the email marketing is because it keeps interested parties informed and you can track what people are interested in. You can also create deep connections, including recommendations to customers, as they can find out something happening and talk to their friends. So let's summarise what we have learnt today. We have learnt that the museum targets mainly families, schools, and tourists. They use social media or Facebook in order to communicate, as it is a great way to target both young families and tourists. They use digital billboards in order to capture the young at heart, and email marketing to instill trust and keep customers returning.